Well, they come thick and fast. Kenya versus France. Well, from one Englishman, Ben Ryan, to another who's actually coaching Kenya. Well, under the tutelage of Mike Friday, this team has been reinvented. Oscar Ouma is as solid as they come. Humphrey Kyange and brother Collins Njira can both run in tries. And Willie Mbaka is as special as a Fabergé egg. Well, France, well, their draw with Australia was good enough to get France through to the first ever quarter-final of the Rugby World Cup. Vincent Denyu, Manuel Dalinga and Jean-Baptiste Gobeli are as tough as any forwards playing in the Rugby World Cup here in the Luzhniki Stadium here in Moscow. It's hot, it's electric, and this game of Rugby Sevens just absolutely excites. The last quarter-final, and Andrew Amondi there. Well, again, one of these wonderfully conditioned Kenyan athletes. And when you've got the pace on the wide wings of Collins Njira and Willie Mbaka, well, this is going to be one big tie of 40 minutes of seven-a-side rugby coming up. And Carl Tanana, the New Zealand captain, sitting alongside me here in this commentary box. And Carl, there's a lot of pressure on both these teams. The knockout rugby is absolutely everything, and the unity and the friendship and the bond that a win at the quarter-final stages, what it does for your confidence. Tell the viewers at home just what an experience that is.
Oh, Scotty, well, I tell you, just around the stadium, you know that everything's on the line, and it just takes you to another level. The French, they're going to have to play out of their skin to try and challenge the Kenyans, who have looked slick this weekend.
Well, Terry Buraua will be having the kickoff here for France. He's their little playmaker, the little maestro, one of the smallest players here, but he's got a heart as big as the Eiffel Tower. Well, just a little bit of excitement there from well, it's gone straight out, and play will be reset for Kenya on the halfway line.
The Kenyans always enjoy their support, but
Felix Kyange then. This is Collins Njira with the switch play. This is the first intrusion of Kenya through Andrew Amondi. Just conceding space, but France right up. They play such a physical brand of rugby, and you know, it's interesting looking back at their two wins in the day one. They beat Tunisia 24-7 in a really physical encounter. Spain by only 4 points, 21-17. And then they drew with Australia to get through to the quarter-final, the first ever Rugby World Cup quarter-final. They can somehow break down the game in the physicality and then upset the rhythm of the Kenyans.
You hit the nail on the head, it's about upsetting the rhythm.
Steve Barry on the far side takes it up over the halfway line for France. There's the ball at the back, and in goes Manuel Dalinga. And then Buraua up to the 10-yard line, steps inside now. Can he get the support? Loose ball. Kick ahead by France, down to the 22. Well, that's been pirated by Jean-Marcelin Baton. And Gobeli, Jean-Baptiste Gobeli, he shrugs off the attempted tackle. That's a huge blow for this Kenyan team. And again, the physicality through Jean-Baptiste Gobeli, getting the opening try for France.
Well, he's a big unit, there's Gobeli, and he was never going to be denied here. Just see, just the effort by the French there, bounces up. They've always got numbers in and around the ball. It's all about getting your shoulders in, and the Kenyans going too high, using their arms. Great start for France.
Well, the additional 2 points on offer here from Terry Buraua. Here comes the kick from wide out.
I just get a sense, Scott, that the Kenyans really aren't on top of their game. Maybe they thought since they got France in the quarterfinals, they're mentally not on top. The French, well, they've pounced.
Well, somebody will have to get the needle and thread out after this one. The conversion unsuccessful in France. 5-0 up. A little dink chip kickoff. Collected by Kenya now. Ball back. This is Humphrey Kyange, one of the stars of this team. Recently returned. The step there by Felix Kyange. And then the solid Oscar Uma, you can see him the way he turbocharges up towards the French 10-yard line. Good recycling of possession here. And there's men over for Collins and Gira. And Gira just puts down the hammer and goes for the line. That is sheer pace and sheer brilliance from the Kenyan speedster.
Well, they make it look so easy, do the Kenyans. And when this guy decides to go, well, there's no stopping him. He didn't have to change his line. He just went straight ahead, and there was a big gaping hole in front of him. Collins and Gira, just watch him there, ball in two hands, and just there he goes. I'll get into third gear. And Brower never had a chance.
Well, Alan Wells of Scotland won a gold medal here in 1980 in the Olympics. If this guy was sprinting alongside him, I reckon he'd be up for a medal place. He's looking sharp today. Let's have a look at the conversion. It's a simple one in front of posts. Over it goes. Kenya then, look at the fans. There's always a corner in a stadium in the world. Wherever Kenya play, the Kenya corner fans are there. Biko Adima with the kickoff. It's big. Humphrey Kayangi had the ball. Now, I did mention that his brother Collins and Gira, who's just scored the try. Now, you might wonder at home, why do they not have the same names? That's because they take their married name of their wife. So there you go.
As we both know, the wife's always in charge. But here you go, the French. I just want to make it a grind, the men in blue, and I'm sure they'll go to the line out here, slow the play down. 2 minutes left, so.
Felix Kayangi, he plays for the Kenya Harlequins club. 23 years of age, but on this occasion, Terry Uraua, there he is. Well, Carlton Anna wears a similar sort of hairstyle alongside me, and look at the colour that the Kenyans always put on show here.
They really have made the atmosphere, but that's a good throw and a line-out take for France.
So how can France respond? Up to the halfway, this is Steve Barry. Steve Barry with a wraparound play onto Manuel Dalinga. He's just dropping back into position now on this far side. He's the man out in the wing, so he stayed on the wing now. Dalinga pins his ears back. Oh, he slips, but he gets round the sweeper. And Dalinga gets round the covering tackle of Felix Kayangi, and that was sensible play. I was talking and mentioned his name because he just stayed right out on the wing to pull that Kenyan defence out.
Yeah, it was great sevens rugby, actually. They took it to the far side of the field, dumped it in the pocket where their big boys had dropped in, and then Daligna, he kept his space on this near side of the field, and they ran out of numbers to the Kenyans. They had a short line, unfortunately slipping over there in the sweeper roll. Great reply though, France.
Terry Uruahua. This looks better, and it's over! So the converted try is good, and these additional 2 points just stretch out that lead. France then into the lead by 12 points to 7.
You mentioned it's got the physicality of the French, really has got the Kenyans on the back foot. Now the all-important restart.
Well, these two teams have met 32 times on the IRB 7 circuit. Kenya have won 15, lost 17, so the advantage certainly lies with France. But recent form would suggest that you would tend to go with Kenya. Dalinga. Uruaha steps, pops over the pop pass. Now there's men out wide here. The defensive alignment for Kenya is not there. Pass then made by Vincent Inigo. This is him back on the ball again, dancing in the 22, wrapped up in the tackle by Andrew Amondi. Look at France trying to work that ball back, but it's come back on Kenyan side. France then gather again. This is the physicality we talked about. Into the contact area, around the blind side. There's an opportunity for France, just stretching this Kenya defence. The pick and drive, well, you don't often see a pick and drive in seven-a-side rugby, but look how the Kenyans are trying to hold up France. France come on with the drive. Can they get the ball down? But held up, so it'll be a Kenyan put in with the last play of the game. In fact, half-time whistle has been blown by Anthony Moyes. Where did that 7 minutes go?
Well, this French team really has stepped up to the plate in this quarter-final with their determination on show like that.
Well, catch your breath, folks. Half-time here then in this amazing last quarter-final of this fantastic competition. Kenya 7, France 12. Frédéric Pomerel is the French coach. You notice it's very interesting, just allowing his players just the opportunity. Here he is, he's just to give them a minute, he's calling them in. Let's listen in.
Je veux qu'on parte sur le large, Bob, sur le large, un peu mieux les autres, sur le large. C'est la consigne, on la respecte, ok? Les coups d'envoi, on change notre physique.
You don't need to step in there, just be good. You're not quick. You go and meet them. You look spectacular before you look at the breakdown. Go on through. The key is we've got to be accurate at the kick-off. We go through, we go high. Let's make sure we win that ball. Let's make sure we got the second bite. Who's got the second bite on Willie? Okay, we go three. Okay, Colo? All right, that's where we're just slightly missing that. That's the bit we need to improve in that game. Okay, no worries, no concern. All right, but you've got to up.
Well, 2009 was a breakthrough for this particular team in Dubai, beating South Africa, Fiji, and then New Zealand for the first time. So their World Cup rests on the next 7 minutes. Can they get themselves back into the tie? Well, on the circuit, the IRB7 circuit, they were 5th in the World Series last season. And Vincent Degnaud, the FFR, the French Federation contracted player, former Dax flanker. And they are big players, these French players. And when you consider someone like Jean-Baptiste Mazoui is still on the bench and still to come in, and that is impact, Kenya will be very well aware of the threat of the physicality of the French. Can they deliver a real surprise package in the next 7 minutes? All a bit loose, but look how they just reset the attack. Jean-Marcel Botin just shaping there. Steve Barry was to feint and kick for goal. Deligna, he goes over the top. Well, almost sealed off ball there, could have potentially been a penalty. And then, well, there's only route one for Vincent Degnaud. Now it's how Kenya can keep the French pinned down. Can they add the flair out well wide? Deligna to Buruawa. Buruawa tackled towards the touchline on the far side. Well, France have used the full width of the pitch here at the Luzhniki Stadium and continued to try and stretch that Kenyan defence wide.
The French aren't actually engaging into the physical nature because the Kenyans are so good there, but the ball in behind probably not the right option.
Felix Ayange then, he's set off, and the support player, this is Oscar Uma. Uma, ball in two hands. Attracts the attention of Deligna, has to go to deck. Humphrey Kyange tries to go and clear bodies out, but Steve Barry's there for France, but the recycle is good for Kenya. Now, can they turn this pressure into points? We've hardly seen William Baka. This is Collins and Gira. Now Collins and Gira's gone on a loop. Now will he cut the same angle in the first half? Delays his pass. Gets the ball back, so this is good enterprise in play. Try time! Humphrey Kyange squares the scores out wide with a try of his own. And Kenya very much back in this tie.
Great work there in the end by Kyange, but we must remember this opportunity came about with a kick from the French team. They had all the possession, they were looking good. Ill-advised kick in behind the line, and the Kenyan strike. Just the last pass there from Collins and Gira. Now back to Kenyan. Hunt from Kyange with the score.
Well, some happy supporters there, dancing in the sunshine. Temperatures have just gone up and the airs have cleared. They were expecting some heavy showers here, but it's cloudless up top. 30-odd degrees outside. The mercury has risen over the last hour. So is the temperature with the quality of these quarterfinals in the main cup competition. Well, it's an excellent nudge. What about that for a kick? Superb from Kenya to nudge into the lead by 14 points to 12. We talked about how important conversions were going to be in this particular tie. And Humphrey Kaange, 8 tries for Kenya. Kenya almost had possession from the kickoff, but good use of space here for France. You see that defensive line for Kenya just a little bit ragged, so that's allowing the French players to run into that bit of space. Pitch ball from Uma. Uma with the slip of the ball. Here's a try here for Kenya. On the far side, Kaange with his double in the matter of seconds. Now, has he pulled a muscle on his way to the line, or is he just absolutely knackered?
Yeah, I think he's pretty tired, as Kaange done a lot of work. And he scores in the exact same place, only seconds earlier. But the French haven't done this. They haven't engaged the defence. They took it in, and the Kenyans got the turnover. I just like the way they run on top of the ground.
Well, he's the top try scorer in Moscow now. So that's some accolade in the company of many others. The conversion, well, it was good the last time. What's this one going to be like? That one misses. And that tantalising scoreline there. A converted try gets France back in.
The Kenya coach spoke about the kickoffs and how important they are. They were out-muscled there in the first 7 minutes, or they've taken control in the second. Have the Kenyans. French have seen no ball whatsoever.
11. Isego starts, and his kickoffs have been absolutely on the button. That one, commentator's curse, it hit 9 metres, not 10 metres. Still plenty of time on that clock. Keep an eye on it. 2 minutes for France to tie. Deligna over the top, step back, and pass was made by Jean-Baptiste Mazoué. This is Jean-Marcelin Batten. Bhutan just bundled in the touch. Was that a late tackle? It was. Oscar Uma. And if France go wide here, they've got men over, but the step and go. Albaladejo in under the post. And Paul Albaladejo, his intervention off the bench, his left foot work, getting France right back in.
And more importantly, after scoring under the horns, makes the conversion all that easier to tie it up. But the ebbs and flows of rugby sevens can change so quickly. The French looked out of it, but now the emphatic reply by Albaladejo, and we speak about important kickoffs. This is the most important one, as it's all tied up in this tournament for both sides.
Well, absolutely in the balance, isn't it? Like a set of scales teetering. Which way will it go? Will it go left? Will it go right? 19 each. Extra time is obviously a possibility. It's all about possession now. 40 seconds on the clock.
Who's going to be the man for France to be the hero? The Kenyans have had to do a little bit of tackling in the last couple of minutes.
Exciting stuff. We hope you're enjoying this from wherever you are. Well, I was reckoning that was kicked out the scrum, wasn't it? Play on, says referee Anthony Moyes, try scorer. Albaladejo goes down on the ball. Too far for an attempted drop goal. Tap and go on the far side. Now this is Julien Candelon. He's got plenty of pace. And France are playing some good rugby. Now, Candelon, well, he's lost possession. But this will go to extra time, or did it? They'll knock on before the whistle? No. So Mike Friday, are you allowed to go on the pitch? I'm sure, but no, you're not. You're not, of course. The laws are that you can't go on, so it's up to the players now. It's their responsibility. And Carlton Anna, what we've been treated to, what, some fantastic rugby throughout the last 3 days, but this just gets better and better. 19-all. Well, if I lent you a few rubles, who would your money be on?
Oh, I mean, it's a toss of a coin, isn't it, really? I mean, I never picked the French to stay close to the Kenyans. I thought the Kenyans would come out and just blast them away. But the French, to their credit, have turned up. They're a confident side. Geez, they'll be tough to stop, I tell you. It's going to be the bounce of a ball. Kickoff's all important.
Well, would you believe that in the first season of the IRB 7 Series, France used 55 players in a season? Quite unbelievable. But they come into this tournament with probably the most settled selection here in Moscow, and they are proving their worth. So golden points, first person to score. It can be from a penalty, of course. That will be a drop kick penalty, or first to score a try. So
well, the French are going to be the first to receive, so just getting their pods in order. This ball's going to go high. One of the Kenyans are going to try and tap back. You can see there the urgency on the faces.
So down the middle it goes, the pod goes up, it ricochets a little bit. Kenya have got it, they've got it from the kickoff. Charge for the line. Collins and Gira just tackled, but not releasing the ball, so that puts the possession back into the French hands. The goal then from Julien Jani. Jani, socks around his ankles, his hair's all over the place, looking to stretch that Kenyan defence.
Well, they're lucky there, Kenya, because they put so many numbers into their breakdown, and France were able to release. They had a huge overlap. Good turnover from Kenya, but equally desperate defence from the French.
The mind games at this stage, you know, the anticipation of catching a ball, the possibility of a knock-on, everything hanging in the balances. We look to Felix Ayangi feeding the Kenyan scrum. One against the head, one for the French forwards. Paul Albaladejo, will he back himself into Julien Candelon? Candelon switches the play. And you can see that red defensive alignment of Kenya's having to work so hard because the sweeper system is in operation. That means that there's 6 players up there. They are all in the shot and 1 player back. I think that's Oscar Ruma in the back. In fact, it's Amondi. Penalty for Kenya. This is gripping stuff. Kayangi, he then taps and goes, the tall, rangy forward for Kenya. Now William Baka, he's been quiet this time, and Baka tries to break the tackle of Julien Jani. Opportunity here. Felix Ayangi backing himself. Tremendous cover tackle coming in here for France. Well, you have a shot at the drop penalty, but it's just tap and go. Well, was that the right decision, Carlton Allen? There's a 2-on-1 here. William Baka, can he go in at the corner? No, the execution of the pass wasn't good enough. So 2 opportunities for Kenya to take the tie. Was that the right decision to tap and go, Carlton Allen?
Definitely not, definitely not. You don't give the French an opportunity. They missed it, maybe a rush of the head. The situation, the pressure, does funny things to players, and now we've already seen one tied hit by the French. They need another one, so they're deep within their territory.
Well, you can see the players breathing heavily. Oscar Uma, Humphrey Kangi, Andrew Amondi, down they go. The feed by Felix Ayangi. He taps and goes, but were France back the 10 yards. Advantage being played by Anthony Moyes, the referee. Kenya go down the blind side. That's the try line just in the background left of your picture. The 5-metre lines there. Kayangi. Wide outside, the ball is going. Now, can it be for try? Yes, it is. Wonderful. Well, we've hardly seen William Baka. But at the crucial moment. He put his dancing shoes on and they let the celebrations begin. Kenya are through to the semi-finals of the Rugby World Cup Sevens.
Well, it couldn't have been any closer. The Kenyans, they escaped out of jail. But Mbaka turns up at the right time. Look at the strength of the big man. Powers through with those strong legs and puts it down emphatically. Kenya go through.
Oh, look at the supporters in the background. They're enjoying that. The stadium absolutely rocking and dancing now to the sounds of Kenya. But this is what it means to the French players. They've played so well. And despair. Final score then was Kenya 24, France 19. They're into the semi-finals.